I'm starting to feel my heart beat outrageous to where I cannot catch my breath. And I literally can feel my heart getting ready to bust. And so I started to lose my breath. So I continued to tell my sister, I told her, I don't feel good. And that's the feeling that I had. I don't feel good. Something is wrong. And so I'll probably say 2 minutes later, I felt the feeling from my brain down to everything shutting down. And I died at that moment. When I died, I was in a dark place. And in this place, I remember, it was all fire. There were millions of people on a ceiling. Millions. They had no faces. They had no skin tones. I can't describe to you any of their features. I just remember that there were millions of them hanging from this ceiling. And the ceiling within itself was on fire. And that ceiling stretched for miles upon miles, as in there was no ending to the ceiling. And I could just remember I'm still shaking while viewing all of this, trembling in fear. And at the same time of that, my spirit is on fire also. And I can remember that all of these people were on the ceiling, upside down, and all of their hands were waving in the air. And they were all making an unbearable sound of, and I can't forget the sound to this day. The sound was, and there's no speaking. There weren't people talking. It was just agonizing pain of hearing those sounds. And he took me through that level. And then another level came. And then another level came. And then another level came. And I can remember seeing 4 levels of people on the ceiling upside down. Millions and millions of billions, if not. In agonizing pain. Just, and everything was on fire. And I know after the 4 levels of what I had seen, boom, I come back. And I can remember after, and you know, my sister was there with me after, and our friends and girl and so forth, of everybody that was there that witnessed it. And I can remember that I could not speak after for at least 12 hours. I remember staring at the ceiling for at least 12 hours, and I couldn't speak because there was no thoughts, no words, no emotions, no feelings in me at the time. And I was so scared to tell anybody of what I had experienced or witnessed because, you know, growing up knowing, you know, being who I am, I knew that if you told people these things, I'd be in a crazy home somewhere, in a psychic ward somewhere, locked up. Months after that, I muscled up the courage to tell my mom what I had experienced because I was in awe. I didn't understand what had happened, but I felt like everybody had lied to me. I wasn't a big church person. We didn't grow up in the church, but we always talked to the Most High. We believe in the Most High. And I just felt like in my own spirit that anything that the pastors had said or anything that any church person had told me was a lie. That's what I knew in my spirit. And when I had told my mother that, she just looked at me with no type of emotion or the response I was looking for anyway. And she just told me, you know, son, you ain't living right.